Hi guys, Belle here again. So I have been very behind in my crafting. I lost my crafting mojo a little bit, and I don't know, with everything that's going on in the world and all the issues, I've been, focusing more on that, and I don't know, crafting at one point it almost seemed so superficial, not important considering, which is completely silly because crafting is important, and it's a way for many of us, especially those of us who are creative or who journal or who memory keep it, it's a way for us to kind of express how we're feeling about things. But anyway, so I'm very behind. I've been doing, those who follow me will know, I've been doing Pinkoddbirds year-long journal prompt challenge, and I am behind. I was behind because I haven't shown April or May yet, which is what we're about to do, and soon hopefully I'll start on June. But anyway, so in my last video, the journal I was using for my prompts was too big, and I had to cut one of the signatures out. It was a big scary move, and I didn't know how people would react. But what I've done is I've created my own basic journal cover that is the same size and similar style to the journal I was using, and I've actually stitched in the signature that I cut out of the other journal, so it hasn't gone to waste, and it's been stitched in completely as the person who made it intended it to be. So let's get started. So this was April's one, and if you don't know, every month Pinkoddbird, April, gives 7 prompts for that month that you can journal with, and they're very creative prompts, and you kind of come at them the way you want to, kind of thing. They're very fun. I've been doing them. Why does that say prompts for May? I've put the prompts for April and May in the wrong one. So gosh, so I apologize in advance for this video. So this is April's prompts. I've just done this simple cover using, you print the prompts off her website, and they come in a A4 sheet, and you can cut them down. And I sort of went for the blues. There's lots of blue pages in this journal. And this month was a lot about sort of balance and reflection for April. So prompt 1 was to use one side of a page to do a collage design, or a picture, poem, whatever, and then do the same on the opposite page, but upside down. And so I had this goddess paper that I'd printed out that has lines through it but needed to be used, and I'd lino cut a goddess stamp to kind of match the paper, and I used that. I embossed the image, but it didn't come out as clear as I'd like, so I kind of also went over it a little bit with gold paint. And then I found a poem by Molly Reamer. You can find her on Instagram as Bridget's Grove. I love her poems. I've got a couple of her books, and this one's called Rise, and it says, "Let us rise today with hearts full of courage, hands full of compassion, and arms full of hope," because I don't know, it spoke to me with everything that's going on. A bit of moon washi in that, and then obviously I've done the exact same on the other page. And I always put a little, for each month there's always a little paper clip with the letter for that month, just to make it easier for me. So that is prompt 1. Prompt 2. People aren't perfect. No one is perfect. Neither are collages. Use magazines or whatever imagery to make a person and describe why they're perfect in your eyes. So I went for this person who, speaks beautiful words, rainbow lips, big heart, this big eye, nature, trees. And I put, this person is perfect because they speak with kindness and thought, speak through lips of understanding and colour. They are wise and know we are only as great as our connection to the world and stars around us. They have ancient wisdom, yet a playful soul, and are filled with joy, love and hope, always shining a light, full of laughter and love in a darkened world. Again, you can sort of see my thoughts were really inspiring my artwork. Day 3, reflection. Paint or draw or colour an image, and on the opposite page make its distorted reflection. So I did a rainbow. All through COVID, a rainbow has been a symbol, especially here in Britain, that all over windows have been a symbol of hope and joy and inspiration. And rainbows are just symbols of hope and beauty anyway. So I did a rainbow on this side with some watercolours, and then did a slightly distorted image, and then just wrote, even a distorted rainbow is beautiful, a symbol of hope. I actually wrote that with my left hand because, you know, it's meant to be distorted. So that was that. Prompt 4 was, what is your star sign? Surround the name of your zodiac with personality traits that people say those signs are in one colour, and then in a different colour put personality traits of our own. And I am a Cancerian. So that was that page. Day 5, gloomy day. April showers bring May flowers. Use today's spread to depict a gloomy day. So this is actually one of my favourite spreads I've done for all my prompts. This page was already black and sparkly, so that's why I used it on this page, not that page. I die cut and embossed some, I hope you can see that in the dark, ironically, dark, gloomy day, clouds, you know, gloomy, and then I used black sparkly sequins to look like rain. But following the rainbow theme, I die cut an umbrella out of some rainbow kind of coloured fabric, and then underneath put hope is never lost. So even on a gloomy day, even when things look dark and miserable, there's hope. And then prompt 6, this was quite good fun. Who are you? Collect a few snippet of things from days prior and glue them in a page. So this is a few snippet of things. I've been reading a lot, especially my Dean Koontz collection. He's one of my favourite authors. So I'd put a really old page from a book that was falling apart there. We've been doing some quizzes, so there's a little bit there. This is my tea that I drink all the time. And these are some flowers, some jasmine and rosemary for my garden, because I'm in my garden a lot and I use a lot of herbs. So that's that. And prompt 7 was, it's picnic day. If someone asks you what makes you calm, what 3 things would you pull from your basket? Well, I didn't have a basket and I'm trying to use up my stash. So I used this die cut from Tim Holtz, put the word calm, and then I used these little like postcard envelope things and wrote on the back of them the things that make me calm. And that was April's prompts. So lots of fun. Lots of interest, but definitely you can see how my creativity is kind of being inspired by what's going on at the moment. Well, this whole year stuff has been going on, from fires at the beginning of the year to everything else, and who knows what will be next. But, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Change often isn't easy and often doesn't come easily. So we can use this year for great reflection and hopefully for a better world next year and for future generations. Anyway, off topic. So this is May. So I wanted some flowers. It's May. It's pretty. And these ones were, yeah, just a bit of fun this month. So prompt 1 was, use some of your paper fabric or book page scraps to make a colour block page. So I was inspired by those paintings. I can't remember who by. If you know, leave a name down below. So I made this kind of block painting colour page with scraps. But then I did this stamped image of someone with a camera. I actually double stamped it so that there's this shadow behind it, because it just kind of reminded me how we're supposed to be, you know, making sure we journal and make sure we don't forget things this year and things that have come up. Take your photos, take your memories, record what's going on in the world around you. And then I used Tim Holtz snippet clip, word clip snips. You know what I mean, grafters. And it says, learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. So prompt 2 was, yes, queen. I didn't say that very well, but make a crown and decorate it. Who's a RuPaul fan? Say yes. I definitely am. Anyway, So again, I've been in the garden a lot. The garden's kind of nature. I love to be out there. It's very calming and soothing. So I made my crown out of actual leaves and flowers from my garden. So we've got some mint leaves, some spearmint and peppermint, got some ivy leaves, we've got some dried flowers and things, got a few other leaves mixed in there. And then I used gold flakes. I know that's reflecting, but I'm trying to get the gold flakes that I had. Cut it into a crown shape, a few bits of stickers, not stickers, gems. And I've put nature wears the crown, and I laminated it all and put some fairies around it, because that is the kind of crown I would like to wear. Prompt 3, what is one of your favourite movie quotes? Well, again, I had this die cut and it reminds me a bit of a mirror. And I've got loads of quotes I like, but I picked one from Practical Magic, which is, "My darling girl, when are you going to understand that being normal is not a virtue? It rather denotes a lack of courage." So, and then I put glossy accents over the top of that. Oh, I had lots of fun with this one. Day 4, use 2 vintage things that you love to decorate a page. Right, so I am a huge Star Trek fan. I have been since I was super, super tiny. And someone had brought me a vintage Star Trek comic years and years ago. It was French and it was falling apart. I think it was from the 1960s, possibly 70s at a push. So it's really poor condition, and I finally decided to use a few of the pages here. And then the other vintage page I've used is from a flower book from the 1950s, and I love it because the flowers almost look like they were drawn by children, but they just still look so full of life. And I thought the purples and the pinks kind of complemented the Star Trek vintage comic pieces that I'd chosen. So yes, that was loads of fun. Got to use those. Oh, and this one. Draw, write or paint something with your opposite hand. Now, I'm ambidextrous and I used to be able to write with my left hand really well, but I've got out of the habit. So this was inspired because me and one of my sons were watching Rocky Horror Show. He's got a big movie poster where he has to click, there's 100 films on there and he has to scratch off ones he's watched. Rocky Horror was on there, so I said I'd watch it with him. So I started writing out the lyrics to the Time Warp as we were watching it with my right hand, and then I drew a few images down here. Funny thing is, instead of Time Warp, I said let's do the Time Wrap. So maybe I was hungry at the same time as I was writing out. But you know what? I left it because it made me smile and it made me laugh. So that is what I did with my left hand. Prompt 6, draw the last 3 emojis you used. Well, that's simple. That needs no explanation. I'm not a great drawer, but I don't think I did too bad. They're the last 3 emojis I had used when I was doing that page. And finally, this last prompt was make a page filled with animals using stickers, cutouts, whatever you want. And as I had my vintage books out for the other prompt, I have this really, really old, again, I think it's 1940s, 1960s. It's an annual, you know, like the ones you get at Christmas. And this one was all about animals. And literally the cover's falling apart. But the first 2 pages next to the cover have loads of different animals on the inside. And whoever had owned it had kind of drawn on these different bits. So I actually use that. So all of these are vintage images out of a vintage book of all different kinds of animals that I love and that I wanted to use. So they are my prompts for April and May. And I know we're halfway through the year now and I'm about to start my June prompts, but you can still join in this challenge. Just head on over to Pinkoddbirds channel here on YouTube, or find her on Instagram, and you'll find details. You know, as there's only 7 prompts, to be honest, you could and often they're very simple and quick to do. You could literally catch up on the last 6 months worth of prompts that you've missed if you wanted to, and it would take you very little time at all. Or you can just do the last 6 months for the year. I have found them a really good way to just get out of my own head when I need to, and to do a little something crafty when I'm sort of lacking inspiration, or haven't got time for a big project, or sometimes it's in between projects. So I'll have finished one and just want to do a little something before I start another big project. So yeah, I'll leave the links to her channel down below. Let me know what you think of the prompt, of my prompts and my spreads. You know, was there a favourite page that I did that you really liked? I'll tell you what now, this smells lovely because of the rosemary and jasmine that I've dried in it. It smells really divine too. So anyway, I hope you're all safe and well. I hope whatever you're doing, you know, you're okay. And I will be back again soon, probably with June's prompts. So until then, take care. Bye everyone.